And good afternoon. I'm Tracy Sinclair here at Alaska's News Source. We are getting ready for a press conference that Anchorage Police Department is expected to hold probably at about 5:15 coming up. So we're going to show you a picture of the room. You can see we are getting ready for that press conference. This is all to do with that heavy police presence and SWAT situation that has been going on for much of the day in the Muldoon area. What we know so far is that Anchorage police have been searching a Muldoon mobile home park for a possible armed suspect. APD, really, we've had few details released, but they say that they're searching for the suspect in the Rangeview mobile home park that's near Muldoon Road and East 6th Avenue. This started at a little bit before noon today. That's when they first put out a notice saying that the search stemmed from an assault investigation. Now, 4 schools have been impacted by this. Creekside Elementary and Muldoon Elementary schools have all been impacted by this. Our camera shot just went down there. We'll keep watch on that. When that comes back, we will show you back into the room. But we basically know just that those schools have been impacted, and they have also, as well as those 2 schools, also Begage Middle School and Bartlett High School. This is video from earlier in the day of the police searching. So for Creekside Park Elementary School and Muldoon Elementary School, parents were required to come pick up their students and basically had to come in, show ID, and take the students out one by one. Same for Begage Middle School. Bartlett High School, several bus routes were not running, and so parents had to pick those students up, and anybody that typically walks to or from school was not also going to be allowed to walk because of the police presence in the area. So again, this is footage from earlier today when they were starting their search for a person around the mobile home park. We are expecting this press conference to start here in just a few minutes, and we will keep you up to date as soon as we get ready for the press conference coming up in a few minutes. And again, we are getting ready for a press conference with the Anchorage Police Department about that police presence and SWAT situation that has been going on for much of the day in the Muldoon area. What we know is that Anchorage Police said they were searching a Muldoon mobile home park for a possible armed suspect. Schools have been impacted, 4 different schools: Creekside Park Elementary, Muldoon Elementary, as well as Begage Middle School and Bartlett High School. So we are expecting the police department to begin here in just a few minutes, and so we will let you know and come back live as soon as the police come out to talk to us. And for those of you just joining us, we are expecting the police department to provide an update on that situation that has been occurring throughout much of the day in Muldoon. We are live at police headquarters for when they are expected to come out here in just about a minute or so. We are expecting them to do a report. This is a situation where they told us earlier in the day, right at about noon today, a little bit before that, they announced that they were searching a mobile home park for a possible armed suspect. And few details beyond that. We just know it was the Rangeview Mobile Home Park near Muldoon and East 6th Avenue. Of course, one of the biggest impacts have been to the schools in the area. We do have 4 schools that were impacted: Creekside Elementary, Muldoon Elementary, Begich Middle School, and Bartlett High School. For Creekside, Muldoon, and Begich Middle School, the students needed to be picked up by their parents. They were not allowed to walk home, and despite it being a neighborhood where many of the students do walk to school, parents had to come pick them up. And it does look like they are approaching, so we will listen in to Chief Sean Case.
Good evening, everyone. At approximately 11:23 this morning, officers responded to the parking lot at Creekside Park on East 6th Avenue regarding a shooting. Officers located an adult male and an adult female, both of which were victims of gunshot wounds to the upper body. Both were transported to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. With the help of citizens, officers located the suspect in a nearby trailer park at the 700 block of Muldoon Road. The adult male suspect fired at police, striking one police officer in the lower leg. That officer was transported to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The officer's family has been contacted. Anchorage Police Department SWAT, the Alaska State Troopers South Central SWAT, and the Alaska Department of Public Safety Helicopter Helo 3 are all assisting in the investigation. At this time, the suspect has not been apprehended. He is still barricaded inside of a trailer. Law enforcement will continue to work the scene until he's taken into custody. APD police officers assigned to the School Resource Unit have worked with the Anchorage School District in the area to contact the affected schools. Those schools include Bartlett High School, Creekside Elementary, and Muldoon Elementary. And I will pass it over to Anchorage School District. Ms. Strumpler.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Kirsten Johnson-Strumpler. I'm the Deputy Chief of Schools for the Anchorage School District. Just to add, when we learned of the situation through our partnership with APD, we immediately put our schools that were near the incident into stay put. All students were safe at all times. I wanted to assure everyone of that. When it became apparent that the situation was going to last longer than the school release time, we notified families that were affected at Creekside Elementary and Muldoon Elementary that they would need to come to the school and pick up their students so that they would be safe and not walking in the neighborhood. That the situation continued, and so we made similar requests of parents that were affected at Begich and Bartlett High School, and at this time very few students are left at school because most parents have picked their students up. For students that are remaining at school, they are with school staff. They continue to be safe, housed at each school, and we're asking that if your student is still at school that you come and pick them up for the evening at this time.
Before I take any questions, I also want to let the public know that no shots were fired by officers involved in this particular incident, and remind everybody that we do have a lot of officers on scene, so there will be some congestion in the area as we continue to work this investigation. I will take any questions. Yes, Tess.
What sparked the initial shooting?
The initial shooting earlier in the morning. That was just a confrontation between two people in a park, and during that contact between the 3 individuals, the suspect that is barricaded right now started firing on them.
Do you know what the relationship was between them, if any?
Between the 2 victims and the suspect, no relationship.
Was APD wearing body-worn cameras at the time of the response?
They are assigned and assigned to be wearing body-worn cameras at the time of the incident, yes.
Is the suspect still actively firing at officers?
No, right now the suspect is contained. We're actively using our SWAT team to extract the suspect, and there has been no gunfire exchanged in the last hour and a half.
What is
Yes,
your
ma'am.
recommendation for people in the area?
If you're in the area, it's just a lot of congestion, so it's always best to stay inside your home so that you're not getting caught in traffic and all those sorts of things. I'll reiterate again that we have the suspect contained into an area, and so the concern of someone that was involved in a shooting being out is not a concern because we do actively have them contained.
APD usually notifies of like SWAT situations, SWAT standoffs. This alert came out just as an assault investigation, only through the Facebook initially. Can you discuss how APD chose to disseminate that information and why you didn't warn of a SWAT situation when it came out immediately?
So initially, when we responded with some SWAT operators, that it was not the full SWAT call out. That's typical that you get the notification, and as the incident unfolded is when it expanded to a full size SWAT operation in conjunction with the Alaska State Troopers.
Question for ASD: do you foresee any effect on school tomorrow?
Yeah, great question. Right now, we're still working in collaboration with APD. There's no indication that school would be delayed tomorrow at this time. However, if it is, we will be in direct contact with parents and with the media and public so that we can get that message out early in the morning.
It sounded like there were like less lethal rounds being fired maybe at the scene. Could you talk about any other less lethal methods that SWAT team is using currently?
We utilize less lethal in these particular situations to try to get the suspect to surrender without officers have to enter the scene and without using lethal projectiles. Obviously, the goal is to get voluntary compliance or certainly not having to use lethal means. And so, all the tools that we have available to us, whether it's less lethal or the use of drones, cameras, all of those types of things are utilized in these incidents to try to gain compliance and get an idea of where the suspect's at so we can better apprehend them without violence.
An officer at the scene told me that they were trying to evacuate folks from the surrounding area. Have you guys been able to evacuate that mobile park home yet?
We have evacuated a number of residents.
You said that one police officer was injured in this incident. Do you know their condition right now?
Non-life-threatening and still in the hospital. And so beyond that, whether it's, it's not our practice to update the actual status other than life-threatening or non-life-threatening.
Did the suspect live in the home where he is currently barricaded?
I do not know that.
Are you aware of any weapons that the person who's being barricaded might have?
Just a firearm. That's the only thing we know for sure.
Does APD recognize this person from previous contract?
Don't know that. Answer to that question. All right. Thank you, everyone.
And that was Chief of Police Sean Case talking about the incident from earlier today. It's still ongoing over in the Muldoon area as it began at Creekside Park, where a man and a woman were found shot with non-life-threatening injuries. They have been tracking this suspect. They believe he is barricaded within a home at the mobile home park in Rangeview Mobile Home Park. One officer has been shot and had non-life-threatening injuries, but as you heard the chief just say, this officer has been taken to the hospital and is still in the hospital with the suspect still barricaded in the trailers. We were talking earlier about the schools and the impacts on them. 4 schools were impacted: Creekside Park Elementary School, Muldoon Elementary School, Beggage Middle School, and Bartlett High School. For Creekside Park, Muldoon, and Begage Middle School, parents had to come up and pick up their students. And for Bartlett, some of the bus routes and people who walked to school were not, had to be picked up as well. As far as they know, there was a confrontation in the park this morning. That's what began all of this, and no relationship between the two people that had been shot and the person that is back or is barricaded at this point. And they do say that this person has a firearm. At this point, he says the police have not fired any of their weapons, or have not fired their guns. So we are going to continue to follow this story so you can get more as we get more information on alaskasnewssource.com, and of course at 6 and 10 on Alaska's News Source.